Hey folks, we are going to continue working on the review and translation of the Dungeons and Dragons Monsters Compendium 4, Creatures of Eldraine. That was released on the D&D Beyond website last month. We've been going through and looking at each of the creatures that are in that 25 creature selection and seeing how they translate into color mana mechanics for both the cards from Magic the Gathering as well as using the color mana system that we've developed and have published on the DMsGuild. So, give me a second here to check my signal, make sure I'm coming through loud and clear. And then we'll take a moment here to review what we're doing and dig through some monsters today. So, hold on here real fast. Doing mic check, 1, 2, 3. Doing mic check, 1, 2, 3. Sounds like. Just get a little bit closer up here. Check. Sounds like. Just get a little bit closer up here. Check. Yeah, that sounds really good. Okay, cool. So, let's see here. Just a quick intro. My name is Phil Kearney. Hey, I create role-playing game supplements. I illustrate them and I publish them online. There are a slew of links down below that lead to these different books that you're looking at here. The Spell Point Warlocks, Tap on Tap Burn Knights and Tricksters, Tap on Tap Burn 5 color mana Spell Point Variant Rule Core Mechanics, as well as Universal Spell Points and High Magic. These are all on DMsGuild. They all have extensive free previews. We'll be demonstrating one of those here. Give me a hot second. You can follow me here at Phil Kearney on Twitter X if you're interested. But best way to support the channel, of course, is to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. We're trying to reach ourselves to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and we can do that with your help. So thank you. One thing, let's go down here and take a look at what we are building here. Let's see. Here's a link to the article and the document online that we're working on. So this is on my Patreon. You can click on that link and jump into here. And as you can see, we have the live-in video that starts here. That's what you're currently watching right now. Other than that, here's the share doc that we have. It's a read-only document that we have on Google Docs here. Monsters Compendiums. As you can see, we have that same document over here. So when you check it out, it's going to be a read-only doc. And we're going to write on it as we go along. Here at the top, we have some, if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, it scales how strong a creature is by power and toughness. Power is the amount of damage it deals. Toughness is the amount of damage it can take. So if you've got a 1/1 creature, it can deal 1 point of damage, and when it takes 1 point of damage, it dies. So there you go. Those hardly translate into Dungeons and Dragons directly, but we've been taking a look at each of the creatures that are here in D&D Beyond. We can see here's a stack of creatures on the right, on the left-hand bar here, and we've been digging through each of them here. You can see going through creatures. And these are all these illustrations are Magic the Gathering cards that we've taken the time to track down. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the stats here on the creatures and see what it is that they're doing in comparison to the cards that they represent. So we can then, let's see, pull this out of frame here to drop down to, let's see, what's the most current monster that we're going to work on today as a demonstration? We are currently at the High Fae Kind Guard. That's right, and we did the High Fae Imposter, which is also known as the High Fae Prankster on the card. It's translated into the High Fae Imposter in the Eldraine Monsters book. So next is the High Fae Kind Guard, and that which translates into Talion's Messenger. Yeah, I'll show you the High Fae Guard. High Fae, Fairy Pests, Ginger Brute, Goose Mother, High Fae Imposter, which is here. And then we have the High Fae Kind Guard. You can see the creature art over here, right? So this is the High Fae Kind Guard. And then we have the High Fae Mage. So we have High Fae Kind Guard. And that comes through as Talion's Messenger here. So we're going to open this image. So we can see this is it's a 2-mana blue creature, right? And when we're looking at our card selection here, That should actually read as you. Talion's Messenger is a 2 blue mana. It's a CR12 creature here in the book. This is like a mid to mid-high level creature. But in over here in the cards, it's a 1/3 creature, which costing 3 mana. You get to that like in the first 2 or 3 minutes of maybe a 10-minute game. So it's valued less here as a card as it is in D&D. So what we're going to do is we're going to just first start off with the traits that are on the card, see how well they translate over to DMsGuild. We're going to look at color mana. That'll pull open all the books that we've done. Here's the bundle that we're looking at on the cover here. Hey, here's all the different books in here. We're going to look specifically at the revised color mana magic list. It's a pay what you want, so you don't have to pay for it to get it. You can click on this full-size preview to check it out. It breaks down the color philosophy of the 5 color magic system and how it operates inside of D&D. The 5 colors are white, blue, black, red, green, WBRG. And you can see here the list of spells broken down by WBRG. And it breaks down each spell and how they sit. Here's the damage matrix for different types of elemental or unnatural damage that you can deal inside of Dungeons & Dragons and what colors each of them connect with. You can see that each color has 4 damage types devoted to it, and bludgeon, piercing, slashing aren't devoted to any color specifically at all. So let's see, we have those four there. Here's the different aspects of magic. Like black magic is generally like control, entropy, fear, the soul, darkness, energy, while say red magic is aggression, earth, emotions, energy and impulse, while green is like animals, healing, plants, nature magic, spirits, like spirits and soul and divinity. The white, black, green, there's like a natural triad that exists between those 3 colors in the MTG setting, the card setting, where spirits, a sentient soul, and spirit divinity all kind of cross over into like this reincarnation, resurrection sort of graveyard, exhuming necromantic sort of space where there's bringing things back either with holy blessing or in profane order. It's an interesting paradigm. There's a whole bunch of them that exist inside of Magic the Gathering color philosophy in general. So, but this guide here, this Pay What You Want document, provides you a breakdown of the white, blue, black, red, and green colors that each of the spells in the player's handbook are broken down to. And if you anyone that ends up purchasing this bundle that we have linked down below gets all of the spells throughout the, all the different settings, all 700 and whatever spells that are out there. So, hey, Karen, it's good to see you, guy. Let's see. So we're going to be using this to translate through what we see in the creatures that are listed here and see how things translate. So without further ado, for now, we can go ahead and here and be here at the same time. So we here for the... Okay, great. So here's the stats. So let's start breaking stuff down. So we'll ignore the CR. That's not really as important, but it is useful to know. Hold on. We do want to see how the CR, the stats break down, right? It has 156 hit points as a CR12 creature, but it's only a 1/3 creature on the cards. So 1, 5, 6. See, there's a vast discrepancy between hit points. Like the Fairy Pathlighter is considered a CR, is a 3/3 creature, as is this creature, the High Fae Kind Guard. High Fae Kind Guard. A spread of 38 to 156 hit points. There's not much rhyme or reason that's going on there. So, hey Aaron. You commented on a Reddit post I made So I thought I'd pop in to check out your... Oh, right on, my dude. I made the post about copying across the spell slot system in the form of technique slots for marshals. Oh, right on. So, Aaron, you would be interested in the Martial Powers project. We streamed that on Tuesdays, so about this time tomorrow we'll be back on. But since you swung by and asked, if we swing down here into my Patreon, it leads to this color composition post that we're working on right now. But we also have over here playtest for the Martial Power system. So you can click into that, and there's an 83 session YouTube stream of us developing it from scratch to where it is today. And where it is today is we're about ready to start playtesting it at 3rd to 7th level. I've been actually playtesting at 12th to 19th level at my home table for the past year. And it works great at the high levels. I just want to make sure it works well at low levels. But you can click on here for a read-only document, and you can check out the playlist to walk through all the shenanigans. But here's the basic power progression system with a mana system. It uses the color mana system that I have here. That if you were to click into the articles and documents that we're looking at here on Patreon, and you were to drop down here to the 5 color mana spell point variant rules selection here, you'd be able to look at this link here. It'll take you to the stack of books that we have. They're all 100% free preview. So, like, for example, if you wanted to look at Knights and Tricksters, like the Eldritch Knights and Arcane Tricksters, here's the color philosophies that we have. It's a 20-page book, so you can see all of it here. Like, here's like a basic color breakdown of all the spells. Here's the mana progression that the Knights and the Tricksters get from level 1 to 20. How they break down between 2 colors. Like, if you have you can ignore color management if you want to. If you don't care about color philosophy and you just want to go with generic mana, then you can go into the Universal Spell Points and High Magics book here, and you can open up the free preview here. It looks like am I still streaming? Yeah, I'm still live. I killed my channel somehow, my video feed, so I'm gonna have to do a pop out here real quick. Hold on. Let's pop this out. This is my backup in case something goes wonky. Which it apparently has. So I have to zoom in a bit here so I can read the text. Welcome back, guys. There we go. Neat. And then to get back on track here with everyone, Patreon leads you to this. So Universal Spell Points High Magic, this is also a free preview. You can see here that we have scaling of third casters. Like a Knights and Trickster, they pick up 1 mana per level up to 20. Full casters get up to 80. Half casters get up to 40 by 20th level. This martial power system that we have developed here has the marshals of Barbarian, Fighter, Rogue. They have a 20 point per short rest, just like the Monk does. The hybrids of Artificer, Warlock, Artificer, Paladin, and the other word I'm looking for is Ranger or half casting progressors. And then Martial Powers isn't available to full casters at all. But you can dig through this document in mass. We've already translated some of the basic powers for the Barbarian here, as well as built out all the subclasses that are in that are official WotC content. We've broken down with their power system. It's a 70 some odd page document. So if you want to thumb down here into the 40s and 50s, past all the variant rules, we get into actually how the martial power system works, and a list of all the powers, as well as instead of powers, you can have feats. So if you don't want to worry about mana, you can just pick up extra feats. And there's also damage types that you can gain. Instead of learning powers, you can just deal with type of damage depending on what level you are. Magic item creation we have laid out here. And then after that, we get into the DM section about limiting what kind of powers each class has if you don't want to just have an open book of everyone using the same stuff. And then we get down into the different types of monsters as defined by 4th edition. and then building them a kit of powers that ranks by their CR. So the higher level CR they are, the higher rank they have access to, the higher die they can throw, and the more powers that they know to have a more complicated, where am I at? Hello, a more complicated combat. But we'll be looking at we'll be building out the samurai subclass tomorrow, and you're certainly welcome to check out the playlist, the other 83 episodes in that playlist if you want to catch up on it. And we'll be doing playtesting as soon as the Spelljammer book that I'm building new rules for finishes. I stream that Monday through Friday in the morning, and as soon as that one is done, we'll be opening up spots for us to do a playtest probably on Saturday morning. Might be Friday, or it might be Monday, Thursday, or Saturday. People that have at least a $1 investment on my Patreon get to decide which day we'll do it. And we'll also have first dibs of being part of the team whenever we pull up a new team each week. So, and I'll start at 3rd level, it'll go to 7th level, it'll be a hex crawl, dungeon crawl sort of thing. Let's see. Check, and sounds like the mana system for, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is a Magic the Gathering system. Right now, we're looking at the Eldraine monsters that got released on D&D Beyond, since they're from Wildly Eldraine. And we're using the color magic system that we developed here. Here's a more advanced version that we're doing a translation of everything into the 1D&D once they publish in 2024. In the meantime, we have this free pay what you want that is a more advanced version of the color lists that are in the books that I created. Like you can see here that many spells have multiple color options now. That makes it easier for like if somebody wants to pick up Chromatic Orb instead of picking a specific color, they can have basically any color in their mana pool, but if you want to cast Color Spray, you specifically have to have blue magic in your color pool, and you can refresh whenever you take a rest. You can refresh what colors are in your pool. So it encourages everybody to take short rests because they can continuously update their color pool. Or if you're like your Boros that's dedicated to white and red magic only, then what you would do is you'd keep a white and red mana pool of any proportion. But then you would research and learn spells that aren't naturally white and red to become white and red spells. It's a way for you to have downtime activities and a reason to spend money / create new contacts to help you learn new stuff. For people that want a deeper level of technical stuff in their game. If all you want to do is just say, yeah, I want to cast any spell that I would normally have available to me as a wizard, I'm just going to narrate that they're white and or red magic, then great. That's the level of depth and narrative that you want, then just go ahead and just use generic spell points and say they're white and red. But if you want a higher level of difficulty, your own little mini game of limiting what spells you have access to, you adhere to the colors and either build your character around what spells are naturally available to them in this instance, white and red color palette. But you could also then find other spells and just learn them as white and or red so you can add them to your playlist. That's very similar to how 1st and 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons spellcasters worked. They had a very limited set of spells, and if they wanted more, they had to go out and actually find and research them. They didn't get a shitload of spells for free like 5e gives you. So if people that are noticing a big difference between martials and spellcasters, it's because spellcasters are getting a ton of spells for free that they don't have to try it all for. So the martial power system that we built is offering quadratic options that you can change on a rest to pick up new powers so that your character can kit differently to help your team. And if you're having a non-combat encounter, then you can buff out non-combat and go into social and exploration powers instead, so that your martial characters can adapt to the campaign as quickly as your full casters can. And the color mana or elemental mana or light and shadow or body, mind, and soul, magic paradigms, there's all sorts of different types of magic paradigms you can use. But I'm in love with Magic the Gathering, so I'm always thinking color philosophies. But that's a quick crash course. So Aaron, if this is stuff that you think is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll be back tomorrow talking about the color mana system, or rather the martial power system specifically, while we rebuild the samurai subclass for fighters into using the color magic paradigm, giving them bonus powers per level, just like a spellcaster kit would do, and taking the things that exist inside of the features and updating them and changing them using the mechanics of the martial power system that we had developed. And then I'm getting to a place where on Fridays I'm streaming Martial Powers too. It's sometimes I have a lunchtime game I have with coworkers that's typically on Wednesday, but sometimes it spills into Friday. So Fridays are unstable days, but it's looking like this week I'll have Martial Powers tomorrow, probably on Friday as well this week. And we should get through the Samurai tomorrow. We've already gotten through all of Rogue, all of Barbarian. We've already done a first pass on the Monks, but now we want to go back into Monks and make sure that they're current, since it's been about 5 months since we've played with those. But where are we at? Hey, Gotcha Key, it's good to see you, guy. Let's see. Encouraging short rests. Yep. I found DMs to be quite opposed and punishing of that core mechanic. Well, if they don't use it, that's fine. It's just an opportunity. If all in a color mana system where everyone is using technical mechanics, where they can change their color pool at a short rest, and you find your cleric has like 5 points of white and 4 points of blue left, and you're not anticipating any more combat that day, but you are going to be having a meeting with somebody, he may want to swap out all of that white mana for healing, might not need it anymore, and he might want to dump it all in the blue, so he has access to more research or like mind reading and stuff like that as blue magic. So the team can adapt their color pool to work with the spells and powers that they have as they transition from one type of challenge in the adventure to the next. And if the DM is pacing the way that D&D is intended, it should be every 2 or 3 challenges you're taking a short rest. So if like you're going through a dungeon, you have like a combat encounter, and then now you're running into a puzzle, maybe your team wants to take a short rest while you're exploring that puzzle, so you can swap out your color pool to get you access to your divination and like skill mechanics more. So, and then when you finish that, then you can like do some poking around, exploration, take another short rest after another 2 or 3 challenges. Maybe you get caught in a fight and your mana pool is misskewed, so it's a difficult fight. You take your rest, you reorient your spell colors to match in with the spells that you need for the rest of what you anticipate your adventuring day being. That's kind of like the wizard saying, maybe I have to memorize a specific spell, so I'm going to go with sleep and light. Those are the 2 spells I'm taking today. Ah, crap. I didn't need to sleep anything, and we had torches, so my entire spell selection is worthless. That was one of the things that equalized the massive power that spellcasters had. This allows you to still have all the spells that you know, but now you have to gamble with what colors am I going to need more of, or you can spend extra coin. Like say if you want to, like if you're a white red, sticking with the Rakdos theme or the Boros theme, if you want to guarantee Bless is always available, you can spend some downtime to research it to be both white and red. So if all you have is white and red mana, then you'll be able to use it no matter what. And of course, the bonus spells that you get on your list can use any color that you know all the time. So that automatically means that your specialization, your subclass, is automatically going to kit you into the colors that you're devoted to. Or if you're not playing a guild system, like say you're playing Mirrodin, where wizards or characters can have access to all 5 colors, then you just pick, like, I've got like a lot of black and red spells that I like. So I think I'm just going to devote myself to black and red mana most of the time. And if I start picking up some blue stuff, I'll just section off some of my mana pool to be blue. So you can, depending on how you play the game, like Strixhaven and Ravnica are very color intensive because guild and college identity is huge for your character. So you stay inside of your color palette. You can't have a Boros character with red, like with blue black. That's a Dimir operative. They'd be kicked out of the guild. They're misaligned. So there's interesting rules that can or cannot or could be ignored. So you either have to adhere to them or you have to play around them in a different way. But anyway, we're playing with Eldraine. So I'm gonna actually get back on track here. Love the interest, and I'm glad you're checking this stuff out. Let's see. Let me catch up real quick, and then we'll get to work as intended. Never gotten into it. Fair enough. I understand the system. Right on. That and philosophy of thematic spellcasters aren't bound to be realistic and can be more fun. Yeah. Right on, man. Thanks a lot. You are most welcome here. This is for the color mana system as a whole. Like if you check out the free preview to the color mana system, you can pop open the core mechanics book. It covers all the spell casting in general, but then I'm building books that are more specific. But any kind of it started off with just spellcasters, and I built out the color philosophy system for people to use color mana instead of spell points or spell slots. And now that we have all the spell casting and half casting and the warlock with a color mana system, that just leaves the barbarian, the monk, the rogue, and the fighter out in the cold as the only 4 classes that don't have a coinciding color mana system. But if we have all 13 classes using the same mana spell point system as a whole, as their basic resource mechanic, then you can build out true color philosophy characters. Like I could have a Gruul druid barbarian shaman who's able to use the blue and the red or the green and red magic of Gruul and use them for both barbarian and druid and mix those things together. So they're always firing off green and red mana to do different things. Druid spells, summoning creatures, buffing those creatures with different martial power things. There's a lot of really cool synergy that happens inside of there. And since Wizards is publishing MTG stuff, as they publish more MTG stuff, having a unifying language to discuss all 13 classes, how the different classes can be expressed using Magic the Gathering, just helps lead into the fantasy that most MTG D&D enthusiasts like me want to see, which is how can I express this character as a Rakdos instead of a Boros, instead of a Simic fighter? Like, what would those characters look like? And currently the only difference is because I say so. And their background gives them a couple different spells, if they're spellcasters. But with this system, they always have a mana mechanic color, and they can always have access to those goodies, those extra toys. So that's all we're trying to do. Just build an overarching technical language. And it just so happens that the Martial Powers is a way for me to create a color system, but it backdrops to basically like a monk key sort of thing in general. Anyway, that's the go. Yeah. Game marshals and magic users on. There you go. Whether it be tech magic slots or yep. That's it. The the color magic philosophy that's been out since 2018. This is my 3rd campaign at home that I've been using it in, so I update it every 3 or 6 to 9 months. I've updated a couple times so far because as I keep playing, I find easier ways to make it more simple or more inviting. Like the revised color mana system that we have here. This was the most recent revision that I made. It's because there were so many examples where a spell could be white or it could be green or it could be black or whatever. Then I had to create a more flexible mana system, which just really opened the door a lot for making it inviting for people to play with. And then with the Elemental Key book, I went from 5 colors to 4 elements. So now I have a flexible paradigm system where you can just create your motif and assign spell points depending on what paradigm you're using. Like if it's a light and shadow paradigm, then you have basically 2 different facets of magic. That's either going to be light or shadow magic. Or if it's neither, then it's both, and you can use either color. So anyway, those are some of the ideas that go on behind this stuff. So getting to the High Guard. Let's see what kind of damage he deals. It's supposed to be, according to Magic the Gathering, it is a 1/3 creature, but it's a CR 12 in the monster manual. So we're going to have a large spike of damage disparaging. So currently building a homebrew setting myself and finding 5e both too limiting and kind of irritating. So finding these alternatives other smart people have come up with is fantastic. I personally started back in 1987 with the Red Box and the first edition Dungeons and Dragons, and I've stayed with it ever since. So I've had an opportunity to look at a lot of different ways that D&D has been expressed over the years. Seen a lot of I'd say 5e is by far the simplest version, like the unifying upcasting, like the unifying mechanic where things escalate but have a bounded accuracy system is both the most straightforward as well as most flexible because it's so thin. There's so little mechanics involved in it at all that there's a lot of space to be able to basically like they refer to as like snap-on systems. Like this whole color of mana philosophy system is basically a snap-on system that just replaces spell slots using the Dungeon Master's recommendation of spell points, but replacing the scaling of spell, like it's 1 spell point per level. It's super obvious. And then just reducing the amount of mana that you get and changing the rules around some of the other mechanics that go along with it to be more comprehensive. But these are all snap-on ideas that could be, like, you could use these systems alongside somebody just using normal spell slots. Their normal spell slot use is them basically just pre-bundling spell points into spell slots that they didn't spend. Because my spell point system is almost the identical number of points that you would get if you were to add up all the levels. It's just broken down and simplified a little. Anyway. High Fae. Let's see. Damage. Multi-attack. There's 2 attacks. And uses Tripping Feint. So Tripping Feint, the target, let's see, the High Fae targets 1 large or larger creature it can see within 10 feet. Target must succeed a DC 18 dexterity saving throw or have the prone... Oh, okay, it just trips them. Okay, so that's just a free trip thing. But it doesn't matter who the target is. Average damage is 20 on hit. There's 2 attacks. That's on 40. We typically go with a 65% damage due to missed chances. So 40 will get dropped down to about 27. So we'll call the median 27 damage. Let's go to our list. 1 is 27/X. High Fae Monsters. Like the Ginger Brute does 8 damage, while this guy does 27 damage on average. But they're both considered 1 power. See, there's no 156. They're whoa. High Fae Imposter. What was High Fae Imposter? Hold on, let's go back. $149. Thank you. Where'd you go? High Fae Pranksters with 4. That's right. 149. Thank you. X 149. 9. Yeah, there really isn't any logical hit point or damage progression for all of these, but I'm going to do it anyway just for the lulz. High Fae Imposter, High Fae Trained Guard is what I need here, not Imposter. Yeah. This isn't for anything other than just exploration and just reviewing stuff, because I will be doing a revision next year once the 2024 is updated. We'll have the opportunity to add Strixhaven as well as Theros into the core content, or maybe I'll just peel it out as like separate tear outs. That could be fun. Maybe I should do a separate book for like as just pay what you want tear outs. I haven't done those. I could. It'd be a lot of fun. Currently building a homebrew setting myself. Nice. And finding 5e both. Oh yeah, I just read that. Sometimes I don't know if I'm current or not, but it looks like I am. So let's keep breaking this guy down. We're going to go here. Yeah, this is where I want to be. Okay, cool. So let's see. What does this guy get? We know he's core blue. He only has blue. Flying, it's pretty staple. Whenever you attack with one or more fairies, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, put a +1/+1 counter on a target fairy you control. So there's a buff effect involving a gain and a loss. Gain and loss can mean a number of different things in D&D when being translated from cards like that. So let's see if that stuff manifests inside of this build. Like loot likeliness might be a thing. But let's see. Okay, so we have magic resistance. That's kind of blue. Magic resistance. That's generally a white-blue effect, so it's on flavor. Let's see. Damage resistance, slashing from normal attacks. Sure. Damage resistance. That's more generally of a white effect, but high CR is typical. Multi-attack. Oh, this is the imposter. Damn it. Only being kind guard. Yep, it has a fly speed. That's very typical. Very blue and green. So it's on flavor. I bet this has magic resistance too, huh? Damage resistance. Oh, no magic resistance. Neat. But yeah, damage resistance is pretty typical. Evasion. If the high fae is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, and instead takes no damage if it succeeds the saving throw, and only half damage if it fails, provided it doesn't have the incapacitated position. Evasion. Generally a red or blue effect on flavor. Let's see what else you got. What you got? Oh yeah, it does have magic resistance. How about that? Very blue in flavor. Also white. Fae Claymore. Target speed is reduced. Force damage. Force damage, I believe, is Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast does force damage. White, blue, red. I bet it's listed up here. And force. White, blue, and red damage. So that's appropriate. Claymore. Claymore. Force damage. Blue, correct. What else we got? How we sitting? So far, so good. We've lined up really, really well so far. The only thing that wasn't a 100... No, everything's pretty much been on point. Tripping feints. Trips could be anything. Daring flight. The high fae moves up to its speed. The movement doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. Okay. Daring flight. Flight mod equals on flavor for blue. Parry and riposte. The high fae adds 4 to its armor class against one melee attack roll that would hit it, provided it can see the attacker. After the attack hits or misses, the high fae then makes one fae claymore attack against. After the attack hits or misses. Oh, that's really great. So you get to boost your armor class, and you get to make a counter strike. That's really cool. Parry and riposte. That's not any particular language though. And there's nothing else going on with the Kind Guard, so that's pretty straightforward and simple. Let's look at its card instead now to see what treasures we may find there. Messenger. Very blue. Let's see if there's any card conversion stuff that's worth valuing. Here. There. Cool. Let's see. 1-3 already. The Kindly Lord does not issue invitations to their court lightly. I suggest you accept. Yeah, sure thing, buddy. Fairy Noble, flying. Flying is just flying, so there's not much else to say about it other than you're flying. So I don't think I have anything in particular to say about this. So, whenever you attack with one or more fairies, draw a card. And the Fairy Noble counts as a fairy, so whenever you attack with this Noble Lord or anyone else around, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, put a +1/+1 counter on a target fairy you control. I wonder if this is where the riposte effects are coming from. It has the Tripping Fate and has the parry and riposte. These are things that are causing misses instead of hits, and a free attack as part of the reaction. I can see the attacker after the attack misses. The High Fate adds 4 to its armor class against one melee attack roll that would hit it. I'm not seeing a lot of direct correlation there, so let's see if we can dream something up. Card conversions. Draw, then discard. When you discard and put a +1/+1 on target Fae. This card is a Fae. When you attack. So, drawing cards can either represent getting temporary mana for you to cast more spells, to get a spell-like effect, to gain advantage, or to gain a flat bonus. So when you attack, you're going to draw a card, and then you're going to discard a card, which is to gain disadvantage, gain a penalty, lose mana, automatically fail, force a concentration check. Those are some of the things that you can do with a discard. So what this is doing is basically swapping in for out, and as a result of discarding because of this, you put a +1/+1 on a target Fae, which can be the same Fae that triggered this, which is the Kind Guard that we're looking at. So how would I want to break all this down? So it's when I take an aggressive action, I'm gaining card advantage. So I would say Fae Strike. When the Kind Guard makes an attack, and since that +1/+1 can only be used once, when you discard a card this way, put a +1/+1 counter on target fairy you control. Whenever you attack with one or more fairies, draw a card and then discard. When you discard a card this way, put a +1. Whenever you attack with one or more fairies, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, put a +1/+1 counter. So it happens once per round. One attack equals gain advantage. Is there really more I need from that? And it has some sort of advantage, so I feel like it doesn't have any kind of kicker or blessing effects. No, let's just make it a blanket. Can make gains advantage on melee attacks with Claymore. That's an easy way to translate that. And that's really all it needs to gain. So I'm not really gaining any kind of new insight that I need. 1, 2, 3. So there's that. Let's check out the High Fae Mage. Spoiler alert, the High Fae Mage is the... Hold on, scroll down here. This is the High Fae Mage. And I've yet to find what card this is in. So I'm hoping It's been a few. It's been a few weeks since we've tried searching for it. There's a chance. Google.com. There's a chance that the image is out there enough now that it actually can be discovered. Images. Search by image. Search by image. Gotta go fishing. Hold on. Let's go find it. There we go. That's it. Are you out there? The kindly Lord sends her regards. Demir Bargain. Any suggestions? Demir Bargain. Okay, so this card's out there. What? Talian's Throne Guard. Holy crap, she exists. Nice. Let's go fetch. Significant victory. It's always nice to be able to collect. I fucking found you. Nice. Is that what she's called? Talian's Throne Guard. Thank you. That thrills me to no end. 2 blue. Very excited about that discovery. All right, High Fae Mage. 2 blue. The 2 blue is translating into a 2/1. It's a 2/1 critter. So let's go to the top here. Look at our 2/1. High Fae Mage. Thank you. High Fae Mage is going to deal. It has 148 hit points, so that's like a little overclocked. Say no rhyme, no reason. 148. Is that right? Thank you. And then High Fae Mage is going to deal. Let's see. Multi-attack. 2 elemental strike attacks. So elemental strikes equal melee or ranged. Reach 5, ranged hit 18. Any type of damage. 18, 36, 65% of 36 is 24. So it's averaging 24 damage. Fair enough. MTG flavors. How's our timer looking? Do I not have a timer going? I'm supposed to have a 20-minute timer going. I do not have a 20-minute timer going. What's 49? I got. Let's finish the High Fae Mage for today, and then we'll call it for the week. We just do a couple of these each week, and we've just been picking away at it. So let's see. Talian's Throne Guard. What you got? DRs, passive perception. No flight. Neat. Magic resistance, very blue. Very blue on flavor. Elemental strikes. That's interesting. Lightning, force. Negotiate life. The High Fae enacts a magical bargain, siphoning energy from its opponent to heal its wounds. The High Fae targets up to 3 creatures it can see within 60 feet of itself. Each target must make a DC 19 Constitution saving throw, taking 26 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. Necrotic damage. I'm not seeing it. And they have a slew of spells too. So let's see. Negotiate life. Negotiate life. I don't see. What don't I know about this card? Bargain. Flash and flying. Those are hot. Bargain. When Talon's Stone Guard comes into the battlefield, return up to 1 target spell or non-permanent to its owner's hand. If Talon's Throne Guard was bargained, that card perpetually gains the spell costs 3 more to cast. If Talon's up to 1 target spell or non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If Talon Throne Guard was bargained, MTG bargain mechanics. MTG bargain mechanic. As you cast a card with bargain, you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token, and if you do, something happens. So this has a bargain. If Talon's Stone Guard was bargained, this spell costs 2 more to cast. So if you kill something, it becomes more expensive to cast. Fascinating. This card is very blue in nature. What's it doing? Flash is blue because it's like evasion. It's quick movement. Blue and red are quick. Flying, flight, obvious. Bargain. Everything has bargain. Anything can have bargain. But it's just what is it doing? So this is returning a card, and now it's suppressing it, making it more difficult to cast. That is a bluish thing, and you can sacrifice what is an enchantment, a target, or an artifact, or a token. There's not a lot of language out there. There's not a lot of static artifact, enchantment, or token effects that just hang on characters or creatures in general in D&D. I can see why they would default to hit points to be the generic currency that they're using to cash in for this negotiate life thing that they've got going on. It seems like they've decided to go an evil route with this character, although it's just simply blue. But that's the language that they're going in. So I'm not seeing the necromancy. I'm not seeing the necrotic damage here. I would see that more sensibly. I mean, negotiate life. I can see them doing necrotic damage because it's potentially killing somebody, I guess. Erects a magical bargain, siphoning energy from its opponents to heal its wounds. That wound healing, that's coming out of nowhere too. Negotiate life, that's off flavor. All right, well, it's off flavor. It's something new. We're learning. Throne guard. Is that what we're supposed to be here? High guard. Negotiate life. Necrotic damage to heal. Not any blue connections so far. This is expanding what blue does. What else you got? Spells. So let's see what spells they got. Spells are going to include Dancing Lights, Detect Magic, Druidcraft, Mage Armor. Why? Okay, +3 bonus. Sure. Not normally how Mage Armor works. Mage Armor is normally just a flat 13, but I guess the dexterity is going to account. How much dexterity you got, buddy? Is it +4? It is +4. No shit. Okay. No armor than what Mage Armor is providing, huh, pal? Okay. Very blue on flavor. Mage Armor, what else you got? Fairy Fire, Gust of Wind, Mirror Image. Okay, let's see how we line up. Mirror Image blue. Gust of Wind blue. Fairy Fire. Blue. Mage Armor, I think that's white only. White. Druidcraft, I believe, is green only. It's also a cantrip. Gee, cantrips don't require a specific color at all. It's just narrative. Detect Magic is narratively blue, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Dancing Lights, I think, is white. Should also be blue. No, it's blue, but should also be white. That's a change I know I need to make. Yeah, blue should also be white. Blue. Card conversion. Dancing Lights need to be white and blue. Light in general is white. That's a correction I know I need to make, and I'm happy to make it. Card conversions otherwise, so blue, white, blue, blue, white. For the most part, the Druidcraft is just coming from Fae in general, which we tend to see. I'm fine with Mage Armor being white. I don't think I have like a massive... I don't think I have to make a color correction for that. This is the necromancy thing that's really throwing me off more than anything. Like, where did that come from? I would think that psychic damage would be more appropriate for blue. And life gain is not a very fairy thing at all, or a blue thing. That's interesting that they went with that selection. So let's see what they're actually doing with the card. Let's see what we can glean off of it. When it enters the battlefield, return up to one target spell or non-land permanent to its owner's hand. ETB equals return card to hand. Bargain equals 2 mana tax to recast. Meaning it became 2 more expensive. More expensive by 2. The mana tax is interesting. Enters the battlefield. I guess that might be where the life loss is coming from. But there's no... This character isn't gaining anything. Flash. We have Flash. Flash, advantage on initiative, can't be surprised. That's what we gain from Flash in general. Bargain. When he enters the battlefield, so when you enter the battlefield, that means when you roll initiative. Return up to one target spell or non-land permanent to its owner's hand, which means disable it, dismiss it, counter it. If Throne Guard was bargained, it becomes more expensive to cast again, so it becomes more of a challenge to use again. Let's go with let's assume a bargain. I reckon that's what Negotiate Life is supposed to be. Not a fan of that. Let's do something nasty. Once per encounter. Love this song. I have to sacrifice something though, and if I do, you gain. Advantage on initiative, can't be surprised is the flash condition, but when I enter the battlefield, I can choose to sacrifice something, and if I do, it potentially makes returning a card. Advantage on initiative. Can't be surprised. Okay, let's do this. On initiative. Let's do this. Bargain flash. Let's do it like this. Instead of advantage on initiative. Roll in it with disadvantage. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I want to be clever. So we're going to roll with disadvantage. Okay, there we go. Choose one target you can see. Stunned. Use the initiative score as the save DC to end the stun effect at the beginning of target's turn. There. That's my solution. So you can flash in to have advantage on your initiative and you can't be surprised and you'll probably be able to win attacks. However, you can bargain the flash. So instead of having advantage on your initiative, you can have disadvantage on your initiative. If you choose to do so, you can target one creature that you can see and they are automatically stunned. Doing that, you now use the disadvantage initiative score becomes the DC for the target that you stunned, overcoming the stun effect when it's their turn. And they may have already attacked you because you have disadvantage on your initiative. Stun effect at the beginning of the turn. Otherwise, stun ends at end of their turn, regardless. That's a fun little thing. I like that. And that's all she gets. So, that's it for the day. We're going to go ahead and call it quits here. We don't do a lot. We don't do a lot on Monday. We just swing in, we kick down a couple doors, and then we move along. So when we come back, we'll do the High Fae Noble, which is also the Chancellor of Tales. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 13 more of these to do. We typically do anywhere from 1 to 3 per session, so we probably got another 6 of these to do. So we'll be picking through Eldraine here for probably into December. But again, this isn't part of any product. This is just us looking at stuff and what are some fun, clever ways for us to take Magic the Gathering card mechanics and create ideas for use in D&D. So that's a neat little idea, and as we continue developing neat little ideas like this, we can look at how much we want to retain these things for something that's more overarching, like future books that we create, or alternate Magic systems, or like different like open content games that we release on DTRPG. Just building ideas right now for us just to have a deeper understanding of what we can do to bend and manipulate D20 mechanics in general. So this was fun. Thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. We're gonna cut it here. I'll be back tonight to work on the nice timing. We're gonna be back tonight for the Eberron cartography. We're going to begin the blood streaks and bodies in the village map that's attacked by undead hordes. So if you want to see a bit of gore tonight, be welcome to swing in. We'll start up in about, probably in about 5 hours from now, we'll be kicking. So, and then we'll be back tomorrow morning to do more Spelljammer art in the morning. And then probably around 12:30, like 22 hours from now, we'll be back to work on the Samurai subclass for the Fighter and the Martial Power system. And we'll just keep rolling through our week like that. So thanks a lot for folks checking the place out. Like, subscribe, bell icon. Check out the books in the description down below. I'll see you all on the other side. Cheers.